Hello once again, Star Wars and Unboxing fans. Welcome to another episode of Darth Tuba's Star Wars Unboxing Show. I'm your host, Darth Tuba. Check out all my other videos on YouTube. Follow me on Facebook, Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing page. Or follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Darth Tuba. And email me, darthtuba77@gmail.com. So, Star Wars Forces of Destiny. What is that, some of you might ask? Well, Forces of Destiny is a very short cartoon series. 8-episode right now. I think another 8 are coming. Each episode is only about 2.5 to 3 minutes long, and they focus mainly on the quick mini stories involving a lot of our female Star Wars heroines. Okay, with Princess Leia, Padme, Jyn Erso, Sabine Rey, and Ahsoka, and a few others. So they ran on StarWars.com and I believe a few other places just over the summer, and they were a tie-in to a toy line of action figures that came out. Now, some people have been critics of this and they've said, well, we just created these things to sell toys. Well, let's be honest, folks. If you have any cartoon that's produced, there's generally part of the reasoning behind it, and the money that's backed up to make it is to help market a toy line. Sometimes the toy line markets the show, sometimes the show markets the toy line. In the case of Star Wars, I think it's always been kind of a back and forth thing ever since it existed. And so having that be the case, I don't think it should be any surprise that occasionally there is something that comes at it as almost a direct selling point for and marketing strategy for a very brief toy line. Now, I say brief. There are, right now, I think there are about 5 or 6 items that are out. We have maybe a few more. I've been able to find 6 of them. As if you've watched previous videos, you've seen me actually go out and do a toy hunt for them. Now we are going to do an unboxing of some of them, and I'm going to do an unboxing of the rest at a later date. So we have 3 right now. We have the Rey on Jakku figure, we have the Jyn Erso figure, and we have the Sabine Wren figure. These are, now for those who don't know, Rey of Jakku, that's from The Force Awakens, Star Wars Episode 7. Jyn Erso is from Rogue One. And Sabine Wren is not from the movies, but in fact from the Star Wars Rebels cartoon series. Now, I know what you're going to say. Some people might be watching this and say, you're going to unopen boxes? You're going to open up boxes of dolls. And my response is what it always is they're not dolls, they're action figures. Get that through your head. They're not dolls, they're action figures. Of course, I would also argue that Barbie is an action figure, just with a lot of accessories, like shoes. So what you want to, call it what you will, tomato, doll, action figure, but I'm going to call them action figures. I think they're really neat. I will say this does kind of tie into the idea. There has been some people, saying, is everything now going to be just about women? Is it just going to be a female heroine all the time? In Star Wars, my feeling in that is no. I think that all of these stories, whether it be Rogue One, Force Awakens, the upcoming Last Jedi, Star Wars Rebels, have dealt with many different stories from people of different genders, different aliens, what have you. I just thought that these were pretty interesting, different stylized versions of action figures, and I thought they were cute and added a good dynamic to my collection. So why don't we start? Let's go in order of when we first were introduced to them. So we'll start with Sabine Wren. All right, because Sabine was the first character of this grouping of 3 that we were introduced to. She came out in Rebels. And Rebels is now getting ready to run its 4th season, and final season, sadly. But understandably, they want to end on a high note. So the figures, these 3 all come with essentially just the figure itself, with numerous accessories. Okay, the later figures that I'm going to unbox later have kind of they're a little more expanded. They come either with droids or a secondary character. Okay, but these were essentially. There is an action figure, okay? One of the biggest things I love about Sabine, and I've said this in the past, is that Sabine is an artist. She's an explosive expert, but she's also an artist, which kind of explains like the tagging that she does on her armor, the different color hair that she would have in different episodes or different seasons. And my daughter's an artist, so I've always had a bit of an attachment to Sabine for that, because it was nice to see something artistic find its way into Star Wars in universe. I mean, the whole Star Wars movies are artistic in their own right, but it's nice to see the arts kind of represented. It's, music in the Max Rebo band and the Figment Nan band. We've had dance with the Twi'lek dancers and the ballet that you see in Revenge of the Sith, but we've never seen the arts, the visual arts, in universe demonstrated. So it was nice to see that with Sabine. I will tell you, the boxing of this is kind of complicated, because it looks like there was no real tape thing. I just kind of had to pull the whole thing apart. But that's okay. And then it has another little kind of thing under here. And then we have kind of a back. Oh my, this is interesting. Okay, well, I'm going to take this over here. Hopefully the first one will take a certain length and the rest will take less time. I'm trying to, oh, I see. Okay, there's some kind of rubber band type. You've got to be careful with this so that not to. Whatever they use for that, man, it's some good rubber band stuff, because it just doesn't go anywhere. My, okay, well, let's. All she's got is one loose hand. Come on, Rey. Come on, Sabine. There we go. Then we have her helmet. I love the Sabine helmet, the Mandalorian style. Very cool. And the secondary gun. Okay. Now, there is definitively a, those that have grown up with or played with dolls, there is a definitive kind of throwback to that. Now there are some twisty things on here, but I'm going to keep them on because they seem to keep the armor pieces on, some of them. All right, so this has an action feature. Okay, it looks like if you squeeze the leg, it's okay. I wouldn't call it like phenomenal, but it's cool. Let her hold one gun and oh. Well, that was weird. Okay, the armor pieces are a little bit of it when you move them around enough, they get a little bit, as you can see, loosey goosey. But again, unlike the sideshow or hot toy collectible items that I've shown in the past, these are definitely meant to be played with. So there's going to be a little bit of that. All right, so the action play feature I'm not too thrilled with. It doesn't seem to, oh, it's a little bit there. But that's all right, because I'm mostly going to display them. I like the hair. I want to see if you can, oh, yeah, it's pretty good. Put the helmet on. Now, obviously, these are, as I said, they're stylized, which is just another, sometimes is a fancy way of saying that they are, their heads are, in this case, their heads are too big. Okay, so you put that helmet on and it looks kind of freakish. Okay, but again, for the stylized sense of it, I like them. I think they're really cool. I think they're different. Okay, we have the opportunity to collect some of these figures in different formats, whether they be 3/4 inch figures, sometimes those very inexpensive 12-inch figures, 5 points of articulation, or something a little bit more substantial, like like Hot Toys or Sideshow. So that is Sabine. So we'll put Sabine off to the side here. We'll lean her against here in case she decides to tip over. Next, we'll go in next order. We'll say Rey from Jakku. Okay. Now, there are two Reys. There's a Rey from Jakku, and then there's a Rey at the end of the movie when she was dressed more ready to pilot the Millennium Falcon with Chewbacca and R2. So we'll open that one on a later date. But this is like when we were first introduced to her. Yeah, very odd figure opening. Like in some ways it's easy, but good luck opening it and then having any shot of putting it back in the box, because that ain't happening. Comes with Rey's staff. I do believe that they came part of this toy series, and I'm talking about the toy series now. They actually had an opportunity to purchase a Rey staff, which I think is kind of a nice thing. I'm surprised that they didn't make one sooner for when the movie came out 2 years ago. But still, it's a nice added thing to have and to be able to play with. Okay, is this the same thing? Okay, we'll do the same thing we did with Sabine. We'll kind of piece away some of this other stuff here. Oh no, Sabine! Yeah, I'm gonna say I don't think Sabine would. I don't know if Sabine would. I think she's more of a sitter. I think she would sit. Come on. There we go. We'll put her there. Okay. I'll do a little. Yeah. It does not get the packaging style is cool when it's in the package, but as you know, this is an unboxing show, so we are taking it out of the package, and unfortunately, it's a little bit messy. That's all I'm going to say. It's a little bit messy. As I said, in past episodes, I use an X-Acto knife to kind of cut away some of the rubber pieces. You can do that, of course. I would advise be cautious because you don't know. These things can cut and hurt, and I don't want I don't want to see anybody getting hurt trying to open up a toy. All right, cleared all that out. Good. Sheesh. All right. So, and there's some other pieces here that are we're going to leave some things on just because it makes more sense to leave it there. Okay, so she's got her 3 buns, 1, 2, 3. That's kind of cool. It does come with a backpack. Now the backpack, let's see how this works here. Trying to. Okay. Yeah, the backpack's a little complicated. I'm gonna see if I can get this on without having to take the flaps off. I can definitely get one. Maybe I'll just. Come on. Did not expect these to be this complicated. All right, Rey. You were being stubborn. All right, so you know what? I'll just stick it on one for now. I don't want to break it. Okay, that's my biggest concern is snapping something off and having it not be able to stay on. So we will do that as well as this. No, like that. Change my mind. I'm going to have her hold the staff. All right. It does come with 2 handles, which is not typical of the staff, really, but it is a convenient way to have her be able to keep the staff. Well, I guess the hands have a little bit of play, so I guess you could just hold it like normal. Yeah, looks like that works. I love the Rey staff. I think it's really cool. I love the fact that a lot of people didn't notice, but there's a similarity to the almost looks like a lightsaber hilt on the end. All right, now this says, does this have okay, so it has a little again play feature. Maybe I'm missing something, but the play features on both of these figures seem to be they leave something to be desired. But that's all right. I've never been a big fan of play feature. Not that I don't like them at all. I just, to me, it's never been something that I have taken too much advantage of. I usually like to display them. Again, older collector here, so. But for kids, I think the play feature would be okay. But I think more often than not, it's just about displaying them. I love the freckles. I guess, again, I'll get some close-ups. I love the freckles. That's a cute thing. I love the way they tie in the hair. I don't know what the, if you were to really put this into a heavy amount of playing, I don't know what that would entail and how that would create, what that would do to the figure, because I kind of feel like if you try to play too hard with this, you might find yourself, the hair would get all messed up and would have a hard time getting back into normal usage. So whatever. But for display pieces, it's a pretty cool thing. Then there's Jyn Erso. That's funny. Like Jyn Erso, I feel like Jyn is kind of getting the short end of the stick in as far as female heroines, because I feel like I'm noticing her merchandise is still on the shelves. There's not a lot of there hasn't been as much interest. I mean, God, there was when Rey first came out, there wasn't enough stuff made, and then they kind of corrected that error by having a lot of Jyn Erso made. And I don't know, I don't, maybe she wasn't as liked of a character, likable as a character. I thought she was great. I didn't think her whole story, seeing that she's not, she had a one and done. Let's face it, spoiler alert, she does not survive the end of Rogue One, as most people probably watching this show know that. Wow, this is becoming, I will say this, she is kind of stubborn in her character, and this, I think maybe next time I do this episode, the next episode, I might pre-unbox some of these because they are like crazy. All right. Yay, good. My goodness. Jyn was the most stubborn character of all of them, and she was the most stubborn figure to open. Coincidence? I think not. Okay. But yeah, so for some reason Jyn didn't seem to have the same following. I do think Jyn, even though she was kind of like, the story was told through her, and she was directly involved because of her father, Jyn Erso, and her relationship to Saw Gerrera. There were so many other characters inside the film that drove it. Like it was an ensemble piece. Where and I think Force Awakens was an ensemble piece, but I think Force Awakens was still kind of, she was kind of taking the reins. Just like the original Star Wars was an ensemble piece, but really, had a Luke Skywalker. It had a Luke Skywalker was kind of the main gist of it. Here, Jyn Erso was the lead, but there was the main part of this came from the ensemble. There was a lot of else going on. But I really liked Jyn Erso. I thought that she was a great character. I thought it was kind of a neat, the life of one person in the universe. And I thought that was a good thing. Yeah, they all have the same kind of, twist feature. But I'm not a big fan of that. So I'm going to just put this in her left hand, just because it has better grip. All right, and then she does have this little hoodie, which I think I'm going to put on her. It's not a doll. It's an action figure. Truth be told, I really don't care if people think it's a doll or not. There we go. Boom. Done. Okay, Jyn Erso. So we got our Rogue One, Jyn Erso. We got our Force Awakens Rey. And then we got our Star Wars Rebels Sabine. All with some accessories. All with some weapons. And pretty cool all the way around. A little challenging to get the toys out of the boxes. This was more of a labor Star Wars unboxing, a labor-intensive Star Wars unboxing show. But overall, I'm happy with the figures. I think they'll find a nice place in the collection. And that will do it for this episode of the Star Wars Unboxing Show. So thank you very much for watching. Check out all my other videos and playlists. And follow me on Instagram or Twitter. Email me, darthtuba77@gmail.com. May the Force be with you.